never shine. We're digging up gold from another time. Treasure walks. Now we rewind, hit play again. Let the archives roll where it all began. Flash in your pan, it's a flashback jam. Turn it down round just because we can. Old gold moments, new hearts revive. Welcome back to Tuesday Night Live. Hopes and cheers. Dedicate that for so many more. So lighting it up like never before. From open light stories that shine, to relive the spark one frame at a time. It's history made, the pen and the plan. Archive flashback straight from the land. Flash in your pan, it's a flashback jam. Digging up living to the loudest dreams and old gold moments, new hearts revive. Welcome back to Tuesday Night Live.
Hey, YouTubers and friends, how are you doing tonight? I hope you're all as stoked and absolutely fabulous as I am. We have a return visitor we've had on 2 years ago, Jocelyn Elizabeth. Very good friend. Well, I'd like to call her a very good friend. Her and her better half and kidlets. Great kids, great family. Dano, Jesse, Rose, we're all stoked about this show, and I'm so happy to see so many new faces with us tonight. So stick around, we'll be right back with Jocelyn Elizabeth. Hey YouTubers and friends, thanks for joining us for another episode of Tuesday Night Hangout Live with Toledo Jess, Dano, the Treasure Vixens, and I.
Oh, my sister's here.
See, your sister's here, Jesse.
Sister's here. Javier's here, too.
Hey, Javier. Hi, Diana, Nick. World's greatest moderator, Mr. Lodak.
Already started. See what's going on?
He's already started. He's got us live. Didn't say nothing.
Yeah. I do.
World's greatest moderator, Mr. Lodak. Whoa.
Mr. Lodak.
Linda Wallace, I see we're having a Jersey History Hunters raid. Pardon me, people. You all broke major records here at the humble home of Tuesday Night Hangout Live. Never in my day have I had this many in my live chat. Thank you all very much, and thank you, Jocelyn. Thank you.
What's up, Moto Mining? Yeah, we got lots of new people in here tonight. Awesome.
It's fantastic.
Must be a lot of your friends there, Jocelyn. What do you think?
Yes, I see a lot of familiar names there in the chat.
Yes, say hi.
David Villa, what's up, brother?
Hello.
Richard Davis, Drum Detect, yes, but no, Relic Recover us in here. We have the Crazy Lamp lady here?
Where's the lamp lady?
Who? Relic Recoverist.
Who's that?
Different channel.
She was on 2 years ago. Go back to my one playlist, and I do have a show with Relic Recoverist.
Actually, thanks for sending Margie over.
Thank you. We have our Aussie friends in the house tonight, this morning, down under. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And all of you out there who was over at Jocelyn's live stream, her pre-show show before our pre-show. Thanks for coming over. It's a pleasure having you here, and I hope you become part of the Flash fam. Pardon me, Jesse?
I said, hello, Chrissy.
Oh, hi, Chrissy.
And
How are
Nikki.
you, Outdoorsy Gallo? Nikki, our good friend from down under.
Linda Wallace. And the dudes, what's up?
Dudes, those dudes are awesome. They shared the Flash fam camp with us at Gold Rush Days, Jocelyn.
Mm-hmm.
It was great having them.
Want a detector out there.
Yeah, won a Equinox 600.
That's awesome. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And Audra got a really nice bottle there from some guy named Ed. So,
Ah.
Mindy C., how are you tonight? I said David Villa.
Outdoor influencer a little bit ago. What's up, man?
Hi, Melissa O'Brien.
oh, I do want to welcome some new members to
All right.
why I'm thinking of it. During my website member tiers and what little patrons I have left, appreciation awards. She Digs from Scandinavia, Norway, actually became a member, and Ken Allen Dronesfield became a member, and tonight Kathy Bell became a member. Thank you for joining the Flash in Your Pan YouTube membership program. I appreciate it. Welcome to the Flash fam.
Yeah, Scuba Sonia, how are you tonight?
To say hi, Scuba Sonia.
Hey, Sonia.
Hi, Scuba Sonia.
Brian. He's American Gold Prospectors. What's up, Brian?
Brian.
Brian.
How do you
Rules rule.
Oh, wait, no.
down east detecting and prospecting. How are you, Bob?
Yeah, Bob. Pinger. What's
Hey,
up?
DK, how are you? Adventures in Dirt. He puts on a really good show too.
Mhm.
And boy, Audra and Rach's live streams, they're kicking it.
Yeah.
I'm bummed because I missed their Halloween special. And I heard it was absolutely the bomb. So I'm sorry, Audra, Rach. Hey, T-Bone, how you doing, Anthony McKean? It's good to see everybody. Ron F., Dennis, Jason Keats, prospecting. Nice ore samples, man.
That's right, Steve. Audra and Rachel rock.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Kevin Hubbard, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Richard Davis, what's up, buddy?
Oh, Richard made it.
Yeah, he's been here for a minute. He's been here for a minute. Melissa Lynn, welcome.
So many new names tonight. Wow.
Oh, yeah, it's hard to keep up. What's going on, Ron? Ron Evans here.
I don't want to put it in slow mode. So
what
how do you do it, Jocelyn? How do you do
I
it?
haven't been able to figure it out. So good luck with that.
I've been in some of your live streams when you're going through your goodies at your
Yeah.
store, and it's like
It just,
You can't
yeah.
hardly read it and keep up with it. You have to back up if you want to read something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you gotta stop and scroll
Yeah.
back,
right.
start reading down, then you gotta try to catch back up. I actually quit. I just was listening to you.
So I just hit the thumbs up and listen and watch.
So right away, we got a question in here from
Hi, Liz. Sorry,
from
had to
Moto
throw that
Mining.
in. Who?
Moto Mining
Oh, okay.
wants to know, who is this person we have tonight? Who is this Jocelyn? Who is this crazy lamp lady?
Oh boy.
So tell us a little about yourself,
Yeah.
Jocelyn.
All right. Well, I am the crazy lamp lady.
Here, I'm gonna
and
pin you
also
up. Oh.
the relic recoverist, formerly, and also still somewhat. I have a channel here on YouTube, Crazy Lamp Lady. Also, I'm on Instagram and Facebook, and I make videos about picking, kind of like American Pickers, only on a much smaller scale as far as going to thrift stores and flea markets and antique shops and that sort of thing. So that's basically what I do.
It's what I do. But I don't do it on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's something that I've always been really into, and the three of us have talked about, that flea marketing, auctions, and stuff like that. I noticed watching your videos here that you're into glass, and I
Yes.
have a question.
Okay.
Is glass selling now again?
Yes, some of it is. It depends on the glass.
Okay.
Depression glass, I've found, is the value is depressed.
Right.
Depression glass is kind of a hard sell, depending on the piece. I mean, there's always
Depression
exceptions
glass
to the
is pretty
rules.
depressing at the moment.
Yeah.
Press.
There's always exceptions to the rule, but depression glass is pretty low right now. It's kind of a hard resell, but Murano glass, I've been doing really well with Murano, which is made in Italy. I've been doing really well with that kind of glass. There's a lot of art glass that is doing really well, but as far as depression glass goes, it just depends on the type of glass, really.
Right. Because I know that the prices on glass objects fluctuates all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I was collecting glass for a long time, and I still love glass. Paperweights are awesome,
Mm-hmm.
but I noticed that the value of them started going down. So when I pick for with the idea of future sales.
Yeah.
Right. Not necessarily into selling like what you are.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like you're into a full blown business type situation where you're buying and selling. You're buying and selling.
Yeah.
My problem is I buy and I don't sell.
I know a lot of people like that.
You're a hoarder.
That's what Ruby calls me too, a hoarder.
Judy calls me the same thing. You're a hoarder. No, it's useful stuff. Now it must be bad at the Drew and Jocelyn home because you're both hoarders. But you do resale. That's great from where.
There's a difference between just being a hoarder and someone who hoards stuff to sell.
Yes. And we try to cycle through. And the way we look at even our collection is just that it's a revolving collection. So even the stuff that we buy to collect is just temporary. Eventually we decide, okay, well, we're going to move this along and we're going to collect something else. So that's kind of how we look at things. And I think having that outlook on things keeps us from being full-blown hoarders because we do find stuff that we like.
You can't be full-blown hoarders, Jocelyn.
Yeah.
Because there's too much room behind you in your living room.
Yeah.
You're not going through hallways of banana boxes.
I will tell you though, this is the overflow. So
we are in the overflow.
Hey, Matt, gone digging? There were so many else who came in that I've
Liz
missed.
had a question. She wanted to know about Hummels, if they were worth anything still.
Unfortunately, the value of Hummels have really gone down. I mean, back when grandparents were collecting them, they were worth quite a bit of money. And then that's always sad. You know, I see a lot of Hummels in thrift stores and stuff. And for me, I look at these Hummels and I think of how much money was invested in them and how much people paid for them back then. And now to see them on thrift store shelves or whatnot, typically for just an average Hummel, I can expect to get $10 to $15, which a lot of people would cringe at, but the average Hummel unfortunately just doesn't sell for a whole lot. But there are some that sell for more. It just depends on which Hummel it is, but the average is not the best.
Hummels, and in my opinion, are run in the same vein as trading cards. They can make too many, and they become so
Yeah.
abundant that they actually lose their monetary value. You know, because there's just too many of them. The market's,
Yeah.
you know,
And that's, you know, anything that's really marketed as a collectible, usually that's the way it goes. You know, Beanie Babies, for instance, trading cards, you know, that's the same thing. And there's people that'll tell you Beanie Babies are worth money. And even if you go and you look at the highest sold prices, you'll see that some Beanie Babies sell for lots of money. But there are people who use eBay as money laundering. And when I look at those high prices, the only thing I can think of is they must be laundering money, because there's no way those Beanie Babies are worth that much money.
Yeah, no doubt. But
I'm sure someone has.
the best, some of the best memories I have of my dad. He was a coin collector, token, antique type guy. One of my fondest memories of him was him waking us up at like the crack of dawn on weekends to go to the swap meet. And I used to make his rounds with him to antique shops and coin shops. But to this day, Jocelyn, first thing that happens when it's like I go through a portal in time, I go through a door of an antique shop. Even now, when I'm looking for stuff for me, my hands go right into my pocket until I see something I want to look at and examine. They're right in my pocket, and all I hear is my dad like, hands in your pocket.
Yeah. Yeah, that's too funny, because Andrew does the same thing. When he was young, his dad used to take him into antique shops, and he used to have him put his hands behind his back. So even now, when we go into antique shops and we walk around, Andrew always has his hands behind his back. Like, we'll be walking around and he always walks around with his hands behind his back. And because when he was a young kid and his dad would take him into these antique shops, he always had his hands behind his back. And so that's funny that you say that, because he does the same thing, and his dad used to take him into antique shops and he did the same thing.
You want to hear something funny?
Sure.
So did yours?
Well, it's funny because one of your favorite things about going into old stores is the creaking of the wooden floor.
Yes.
Too. I love that sound.
I love it so much. And it's
I hear you. I
love it. Like, it makes me feel like, oh my gosh, like so in the moment. And it's so funny because
it takes you back.
Yeah, and it's like some of my viewers, and it's funny on those videos, like there's this one store that I go to, Bedford Street Antiques, and they have really creaky floors. And I'll be reading through the comments, and it's funny because some viewers just hate the creaky floors, and they have to comment, I hate the creaky, like, why are the floors so creaky? Why? And it's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'll try to make the floors less creaky. Like, there's really nothing I can do about it, you know? And personally, I really love the creaky floors, but it's just
the creaky floor. It's like whenever I walk into one of those old buildings with the wooden floors.
Yes.
When it used to be, when it's always been like some kind of, you know, drugstore or soda fountain. It's an old storefront. It's always been some kind of storefront. You walk in and that floor just does that little creak, you know, and it is just so cool.
Oh yeah, I love it.
It sounds authentic. And it does. It takes me back to. It actually takes me back to when I was a little kid, and that's the way all the stores were. You know, and just about any grocery store or corner store you walked into that had wooden floors where I grew up.
You have some questions in the box, Jesse, in
Okay.
Zoom.
Wait, we were having fun talking about creaky floors.
I know. I'm sorry, but they're piling up. We have one from out. They'll go in order, friends, so please forgive us. Drum Detect has a couple in Madison, Maine, and our friend Outdoorsy Gallo has some questions. Drum Detects was a bit back there when we were talking about glass. It's like pottery, question mark, question mark, question mark, stoneware, question mark, question mark. And I got a lot of slack about the hoarder stuff. Okay, collectors, ladies and gentlemen, we are all collectors. I happen to be a collector that hoards a lot of stuff.
Fondly. I mean, you can say that fondly.
It ain't a bad word like reality TV has made it out to be.
Right.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with saying hoarders fondly. Like I say, you know, oh, I'm going to be a hoarder, but I mean it in the fondest sense.
I collect today's junk for tomorrow's treasures.
Very nicely put, Jesse.
All my junk is tomorrow's treasures, so we'll leave it at that. So, I'm not sure what he's talking about, what he's asking about pottery or stoneware.
Well, we were talking about glass at that time and depression glass, and he brought up maybe the collectability of some or the resaleability of some pottery and stoneware.
Yeah, stoneware isn't really my forte. I'm not really that great with stoneware. I do have friends that collect it and specialize in it, but it's not something that I usually buy for resale. The reason being that I sell mostly on eBay and old Crocs. When I think of stoneware, I think of old Crocs and big stoneware pieces, and that's not really something that I can sell off on eBay. So it's never really been something that I have focused on. There's really not a whole lot I can say about stoneware except that I like it.
Stoneware would also be like old jugs too, wouldn't it?
Old jugs. Yeah,
right. That would be kind of a scary thing to sell on eBay, though, wouldn't it?
It would, and it would be scary to ship. You know, even the small glass pieces that we ship about 700 items a month, and we get about 2 or 3 breakages a month on small items, and usually it's because the post office decides to just destroy the packages, and it happens. It is what it is. They get caught in the sorting machine, or something happens to them, and like the shipping something heavy and big, that's just, it's frightening. I don't think I can handle that. So
right. See, a few months back, we had an auction here and sold off our collection of cookie jars. I had an auctioneer come in and auction them off on Facebook. Yes, you got your cookie jars. My biggest concern with that was shipping them, because we've bought cookie jars from the company and have gotten them broke, and they're all, the way they're supposed to be, and still got them broke. Fortunately, 90% of the cookie jars that we sold that night were deliverable. They were local, so we could drop them off to them.
Yeah, cookie jars are tough. For me to buy and sell a cookie jar, it has to be something special. Like just yesterday actually, I found some old American Bisque cookie jars, and they had them marked for like $25 a piece. And there you go. Yeah.
Strawberry Diner. Oh, Strawberry Diner. That's Ruby's Diner.
They're just hard to ship. They're big and they're bulky, and fortunately, we have a lot of the shipping supplies and the ability to ship big items, but they're still scary. It always scares me to ship out big things, and it has to be exceptional for me to be willing to ship it. So
Right. So what about have you had any problems with like eBay? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I imagine there's problems with everything, but
yeah, well, yes, we do have we have our fair share of problems with eBay. Um and I don't really know how to answer that. I mean, I think everybody has problems with eBay, and a lot of the issues come from we have difficult buyers at times, and we have issues that resonate from eBay itself. Working through issues like, for instance, we had to switch from their regular PayPal to managed payments, and that was a whole ordeal of how we're going to get our money and how we're going to get paid, and that was a whole mess of things. And anyone who sells on eBay knows all about managed payments. That that was an issue all in itself. But we have had difficult buyers as well. And people, saying, hey, at the last minute, will you cancel our bid? We can't pay for this. Or, and I understand there are circumstances where people, something comes up and they can't pay for an item.
right.
But I feel like because we have a presence on YouTube and because we have a presence online, there's a lot of people who will just try to throw off our auctions and try to mess with us, I guess you could say. We do have, I believe, 18,000 followers on eBay. So I think there is some people who just who like to, yes. But we do open unpaid item cases against people who don't pay for their items. And we try to be proactive about people who don't pay and stuff like that. So, I
Dude,
mean,
who do you have more trouble with, like Etsy or eBay?
I've had a lot of issues with Etsy. Um, for a number of reasons. I was actually on Etsy, and a lot of people have asked me why I made the switch. Part of the reason was Etsy switched their policies. They started not really requiring, but forcing people into free shipping, which for me was, I took issue with that. And they also started allowing people to put on homemade goods that weren't really homemade, but mass produced. So I didn't really care for those change in policies, but also they allow for people to keyword spam the Crazy Lamp Lady name, meaning people can use Crazy Lamp Lady in their titles, their descriptions, and their keywords, and Etsy doesn't do anything about it. And so they just, I've messaged them about it, and I said, hey, they're using my name and my brand. Is there anything, did I just lose signal? Is there anything that can be done about this? And they ignored me.
Wow.
They ignored me, and I had to send a follow-up. Hey, I sent you a message. Are you going to respond to this? And so finally their legal team responded to me and said, you're going to have to get an attorney involved.
Oh, wow.
So I do have a trademark attorney, and we're going to be following up on that. But it's really disappointing that people are using it. I mean, I've put a lot of work into Crazy Lamp Lady, and people are using the name to sell on Etsy, since I'm not using that platform any longer. So and then that versus eBay, which if you go on eBay, and people have used Crazy Lamp Lady in the past, and I've called up eBay and they've taken care of it right away, in ways that I don't necessarily agree with, but they take care of it. And by that I mean, I've called and I've been like, hey, this I noticed this person is using Crazy Lamp Lady, that's my brand, and I thought they'd just send them a warning, and they've deleted accounts. And it's like, what? Like, then no, that's not what I asked. I just like, can you remove the listing?
That sounds like Jared must be in charge of that.
That is not what I wanted. I just like, can you send them a warning? Like,
They're gone.
Yeah. So that's the difference between Etsy and eBay. So I stopped using Etsy for that reason.
All right. Our good friend Chrissy Outdoors in Cal, she has a question.
Chrissy, oh Chrissy. I
Do
think it's been
you-
almost a year since we hung out in a hotel room in Canada, and she gave me maple syrup.
I'm still jealous about her hanging out with Jig for 3 days
Right.
or for a couple of days and having that 3-part interview with him. Yeah.
The question is, do you look for items online on online auctions like Max Sold, or are there local ones that you go to?
We do not typically look online. We usually just source locally. We source at antique shops and thrift stores, flea markets, that sort of thing. That's usually where we source. Eric, who we're good friends with, he usually sources as well, and he goes to some of the auctions. I don't know if he does online auctions, but he does source at auctions. And some of the auctions have moved online. So
Right.
especially with everything going on, you know.
Right.
So he does source at other places, and but me personally, I source a lot locally.
You go to auctions yourself?
I go to one auction and that's it. I go to
Okay.
once a month.
Only one time or one particular auction?
I go to one auction, one auction once a month. I'm not really auctions are a little nerve-wracking. Like I can't understand what they're saying. And I just go and I go with Andrew and I point out the stuff that I like, and then he bids on it. And that's I usually tell him I can make $40 on that, I can make 20 on that, I can make 30 on that, I can make 50 on that. Oh, I can make $100 on that. And then he goes through and then he places the bids on everything because I can't understand what anyone is saying. And it just works out.
Yeah, it takes a while to figure out their cadence.
I don't think I'll ever be able to figure it out because I just stand there and it's like,
Wait a minute.
I don't know.
Wait a minute now. Didn't I hear something about in your educational professional career?
Well, that's the thing is like I never.
Engineer.
It was an idea. It was an idea that never really presented itself.
Oh.
On that note, let me interject with
Thanks for the super chat.
Thanks for the super chat under California.
All right, super chat.
Sweet. Thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What I think's awesome is we have 189 people in here.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That breaks all kinds of records.
We got another question here from Carol Poulter. Are the items you dig big items? Do they take up a lot of room? I picture small items being dug and not taking up much room and displaying them.
As far as metal detecting goes?
I'm assuming.
As far as metal detecting goes, they're mostly small items. If they're big items, they're probably iron, and they usually don't make it into the house. They usually stay out with the trash cans if they're iron, unless they're like something really cool, like a cannonball or something of that nature. But yeah, as far as metal detecting goes, you know, coins, buttons, Civil War bullets, and those sort of things, we usually keep those and put those on display. Andrew's got some very impressive displays, and my stuff is displayed, but not as prominently as his stuff.
Yeah, we've seen some of Andrew's museum. He has quite the collection, that guy.
He does, yeah.
Is he still doing the coin shop thing?
He's not. No, he's not.
Or
doing the
is it
coin shop
your
thing.
store full time now?
Well, he's not doing the coin shop thing anymore. That was up in New Jersey, and he was driving to and from New Jersey a few times a week. And so that kind of doesn't really happen anymore.
Right.
But he's mostly focused now on the metal detecting side of things. He's selling metal detectors and going to a lot of shows, doing that sort of stuff, and also helping me as far as the Crazy Lamp Lady business, and that's what he's up to.
Yeah, that's
Later on, let me get the links to your eBay store, your website,
Okay.
because I know you have your own website.
Yep. And that's just relicrecoverist.com. That's
okay. And I'll have them in the description for the replay, so you could go back to them. Richard Davis.
Wow.
Davis. Oh yeah, super chat.
It took him a little while to get that up. He had to change the ink in his printer.
That's fantastic.
Sorry, had to change green ink in my printer before sending super chat.
Oh, wow.
You're awesome, Richard. Say hi to your better half also. I know she liked her arrowhead.
I think this is from J3B. Have you ever found anything metal detecting related while going to thrift stores?
Yeah, we have actually. And I would say antique shops. A few weeks ago, Andrew was at an antique shop and he found a few 3 containers full of Civil War bullets that were dug in Gettysburg. And I think 2 or 3 of those bullets were unidentified. And he took them to the Gettysburg Relic Show, where the gentleman who is rewriting the book on Civil War bullets was at the show. And I don't know his name. And I feel bad for that. But I don't know his name. But Andrew showed him the bullets and he could not identify them. So they are unidentified bullets, and he had 3 unidentified bullets from the stuff, but they were dug bullets from Gettysburg, which was super cool. So he was pretty excited about that.
Cool.
Madison, Maine wants to know if you'll ever forgive Bill Ladd.
Probably not.
You know what that's about.
That was a silly question.
No soap opera stuff, Madison.
Here, you know what? I will forgive Bill Ladd whenever he stops. Because it's done and over with.
I was going to ask the question because I figured I probably shouldn't get in the middle of that, but
yeah,
you did anyway.
It's fine. It doesn't bother me at all. It's done and over with, and it's just funny that he can't let it go. So it is what it is.
That it is, right? Oh, Madison.
What's the? Okay, here's another question for you from I think this is from Nikki, right?
Nikki, yes.
Nikki B from Down Under. What's the weirdest thing you've come across in a thrift store? Question.
Oh gosh, the weirdest thing in a thrift store. You know what? I'll tell you what. Yesterday I was in a thrift store, and it was my very first time in this thrift store, and I'd walked in, and like it was like kind of weird. It was like real cluttered. I loved the thrift store. It was a fantastic thrift store, but I walked in and he had these severed finger. I guess it was a Halloween thing. It was these severed fingers in a jar, but it looked like real blood and real fingers in a jar. And I just kind of like glanced at them and I was like, oh my gosh. Like it kind of freaked me out a little bit. I'm like, I'm here all by myself and I'm like, like in the middle of nowhere at this little in the middle of nowhere thrift shop, and here this guy is selling fingers in a jar. Like
oh my
it was a little scary. So that was a weird experience. That's the most fresh experience that I have that I can think of. But yeah, that for me was probably the most recent weird experience that I can think of.
We just got 1,000 DOPs from Jason Keith.
Yeah, I had the thanks for the super chat all queued up for him too. Thank you very much. That's I guess that's Dominican Republic stuff there. Wonder what the conversion rate is there. Is it better than the peso? Mexican peso?
I don't know.
Thank you very much, Jason, bro.
And our buddy Pioneer Paulie's in the house tonight. He's got a question for you.
All right.
What's your dream detector and place to use it?
What's my what?
Dream detector.
Green?
Dream.
Dream. Oh, dream. My dream detector. Ooh,
Dream
I
detector.
don't know if I have a dream detector. Well, goodness gracious. I don't really have a dream detector.
Go over Drew's head and see what he's dreaming about. What?
Out of all your detectors, what's your dreamiest?
I like all my detectors, and
I know they're all a different tool and you use them for
yeah,
different
that's the thing
things.
is I like all my detectors. I feel like the AT Gold I know the best. That's probably the one I know the best. I've recently started learning the Equinox 800, and I like that detector, but I don't know it as well as my AT Gold.
I think he meant maybe decor.
Decor, what?
Here I'll paste it in the Zoom chat.
Now I'm confused.
So am I. Welcome to my world, Jocelyn. Welcome to my world. Decor, decoration, thing you want
Oh, thing
to
I want to have.
have.
Oh,
Sorry, Polly.
What it says.
Oh, he says my fingers are too fat.
Okay.
well, I think we talked a little bit about this in the pre-show, and that's I really want a giant Ellie Smith or Viking swung glass vase, like the 4-foot one.
Ooh.
I
Right.
think that would make me very happy. And besides that, I'm not really sure. I would have to think about that a little bit. Maybe like all the Hagar lamps that were ever made, but that would never happen in a million years. That's shooting a little too far, but I will take the 4-foot vase any day.
Okay, cool.
I just saw a question here. Looked pretty interesting.
Now that's straightened out.
I like Viking glass too. It's awesome glass.
It is.
If you want to get our attention with a question for Jocelyn, please use the @ sign and start to type our name. It will come up either Jesse Mendez, Dano, Rose Briggs, or Flash in Your Pan, and we'll be able to see those better. And thank you. Keep the questions coming. I don't know how long we have, Jocelyn, for tonight.
We've still got until 9 at least, and then maybe a little bit longer, and then Andrew's going to come up and say, the kids need to go to bed, and then probably the kids need to probably go to bed.
Okay. We'll like I told Drew when I had to talk to the middleman to get you on. I know the kids have their time, and the kids are the most valuable treasure there is.
Yeah.
So I know we had you for a little while, but you know how our shows are.
I do.
So
now I'm going to warn you, I have a train that is about to pass by the house, and it's going to be very loud.
Oh.
So everybody has to brace for it.
Your screen starts shaking.
Most of my viewers know. Most of my viewers know about the train.
Do they blow a horn next?
They do. Oh yes, it's very loud. And most of my viewers know about the train. So.
Your glass move in the background when it comes by.
Well, it's not that bad. I'm used to it personally.
I got another question.
It doesn't fall off the shelves or anything, but I have noticed that it does shift after time, and I do have to rearrange it.
Oh, I hear a train coming.
Yeah, it's getting closer.
Coming down the bend.
It's getting closer.
Is there any country or place that you'd love to go thrift store shopping?
No, I love it right here in the good old USA.
Right.
I mean, I have been to England. I've been to antique stores in England. They were very similar to the antique stores here, at least the ones that I was in. And as far as having my channel, I know a lot of people. I have a lot of viewers from all over the world, and a lot of them tell me that, oh, your thrift shops are the best in the United States. And so I feel like I will say that. There we go. I will say that I love my thrift stores, and I'll stay with my thrift stores. And in England, they're actually called charity shops. I know that Dawn Chipchase, she has told me that she used to always go to the charity shops and do exactly what I did, which I think is really cool. But she has a hard time finding stuff there anymore.
You're looking at it.
All right. Now, so Ruby's got a question.
Okay.
She wants to know how do you determine the value of something when you're out picking and you see it and you go, oh, first of all, I like that. You're attracted to it. How do you calculate the value of it for resale?
That's a good question. So I feel like a lot of it comes with experience, and a lot of it comes with as the volume of stuff that we sell, and I know I have some idea of, okay, well, that we've sold this before, and I know that it's sold for this much, and I have an idea of what things sell for. But there's also, if it comes down to it, I can always just look it up on my phone and say, okay, well, what does this sell for? And I can look it up. And I think a lot of people do that. I feel like I've gotten to the point where I can go into a thrift store and I can say, well, I could get $40 to $45 for this. Before we got on here, I was over on my channel doing a pre-show.
Yeah, we were listening to most of it.
I was talking about a pair of candlesticks that I had bought for $20, and I knew they were good, and I knew that I could get at least $65. And in my head, I always figure, well, I can get at least this much for these. And I thought I can get at least $65 for these. And when I went live over on my channel, they were at $410 on eBay at auction. So I always have an idea in my head of what's the least I can get for these, and then I go from there. So they were at 410. I didn't see what they actually sold for, but I mean, it was really exciting. I was pretty excited for those.
So on a situation like that, where the price has gone up way more than what you anticipated.
Yeah.
Does that ever worry you that it's going to be a fake bid?
I mean, we've had situations like that in the past, and you never count your chickens till they hatch. I think that's what they say. And we don't really account for it until it's done. These particular candlesticks were by a famous artist, California pottery, Heidi Shoup. And I mean, she's well known. Her stuff sells for a couple $100, usually $200 to $300. So these particular candlesticks, I couldn't find any other sold examples of them. So the fact that they usually sell for a couple $100 and ours went to $400, I mean, it's reasonable. It's expected that they would go for at least $300. $400, once they get paid for, we ship them out. That's always exciting. But I never, ever consider a sale complete until they get to the person and the person leaves positive feedback, and then it's like, okay, the sale's done, we're good, it's over with. Because a lot of the times they'll be like, well, you didn't disclose this small little chip. We could say there's a chip here, there's a chip here, there's a chip here, and they're like, but you missed the chip here. And it's like, so
it wasn't there until you got it.
Yeah. So we never really count a sale finished until it is completely got the positive feedback.
Yeah, I imagine too that helps ease some of that too when you look up that particular item that you're selling, you see that it's like for 410, and you look and you see, well, other similar items have sold for close to that. We're good.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine that relieves some of that pressure right there.
It does.
I mean,
yeah.
Like me putting this up, my $100 bot here, putting it up, and someone's bid $500 for it. That ain't right. Something's wrong.
Yeah. So then you begin to question, like, well, are they gonna pay for it? Is it gonna go through? Are they and then you start to question, is it a real sale? But like I said, I mean, if people bid our items up on purpose, and don't pay for them, we open unpaid item cases against them. I've got a direct line to eBay. I call eBay. I report people to eBay.
And
I've formed a relationship with eBay, so I know people at eBay, and like I don't mess around.
Is that like a trolling? Are they trolling you when they?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's gotten to that point.
A bidding troll, huh?
Yeah.
There's no legal ramifications for doing that.
There isn't really. I mean, if they're bidding up the items and then they don't pay, and I open an unpaid item case against them, they get a strike on their account. So there's a record of the fact that they didn't pay and they didn't follow through.
Right,
So if they get enough strikes,
yeah, as a buyer, you get rated also.
yeah,
As a buyer.
to some extent. You can no longer review buyers, so that I mean, you can no longer leave negative reviews for buyers. I should say you can no longer leave negative reviews. You can only leave positive and maybe neutral reviews for buyers. We always just leave positive or no reviews at all. But you can't. So that sucks.
Why would they take that away? Did enough people get butthurt that they got bad reviews?
I have no idea why. I mean, because I think it protects people as sellers. And there have been times where we've had something sit that nobody has paid for, and I've gone on and looked at somebody's feedback, and they would have positive feedback, but it would be a negative review. Like it would be positive, but somebody would say this person never paid for this item, and it would be positive, but like I'm like, well, that makes sense. And then I'd open an unpaid item case. I like to take it as a case by case basis, and really look at the person's circumstance. Like if they send us a message and say I can't pay for this until this date, we make accommodations for that person, or but in some circumstances, people are just out there to take advantage, and that's the world of eBay. And if you're going to sell on eBay, you just have to accept that there are people out there, there's scammers, there's people that like to take advantage, and it is what it is.
Do you think you're ever dealing with anybody who maybe is like addicted to eBay shopping?
Oh, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I knew this question was going to come up. I'm sorry. But our friend Nikki, you know how us gold prospectors and treasure hunters are. We like our treasure porn and our gold porn.
Yeah.
I was going to bring this up in pre-show also, but I didn't. Besides the glass you have behind you in your collection of Converse, what other thrift store treasure show and tell items you may have handy?
Oh, handy. Oh, I don't really have anything handy. I could text Andrew real quick and have him bring something up if that's what you'd like. Because I've actually got something that's actually pretty cool.
Okay.
All right. Let me text him. Give me one sec.
I know I knew I should have brought it up in pre-show. Sorry, Jocelyn.
It's okay.
I got a question in the meantime.
Yeah.
Lana D wants to know, how does a reseller go from part-time gig to full-time seller?
I think it has to do with volume, a lot with volume.
Okay.
And not just necessarily going out shopping and buying lots of stuff, but listing lots of stuff and having a lot of volume as far as whether you're on eBay or Etsy or wherever you're at, just having a lot of stuff available to buyers, and also having stuff available at competitive prices. I mean, that's one of the big things. We do all auctions. We start everything at $4. And we run it for 5 days, and a lot of people see what we do and try to emulate that and do auctions as well. We're in a very special situation where we're able to do auctions. As I mentioned earlier, we have 18,000 followers on YouTube, and so when we list stuff to auction, and we list 20 to 30 items every single day to auction, people are notified, hey, they listed 20 to 30 items to auction, so people come to us looking for auctions, and that's not necessarily something that everyone can do. But as far as an everyday seller, what you can do is just volume. You can have as many items as possible up for sale, and you can have competitive prices on there. And as long as you're competitive in whatever you're selling, I mean, you're bound to make a sale.
And the main thing you got to remember too, the buying is the fun part.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people get caught up in the buying.
Right. The selling is the work.
Yeah.
Selling is the work.
The listing, the selling, the shipping,
Right.
and you had to follow through all the way through.
Right.
Because otherwise you get those bad reviews on eBay and that'll knock you down.
Tina Mudong. Jocelyn, why do you do auctions versus pay now?
The reason we do auctions and we did the switch from Etsy to eBay. And when we made that switch, we decided to do auctions. And part of the reason we decided to do auctions is because we were listing stuff on Etsy, buy it now. And we would list something and it would sell within 10 minutes. And which was a great problem to have, listing something and having it sell within 10 minutes. And but we'd list 15 items in one night, and 30 minutes later they'd all be sold. And for the next 48 hours, we get emails from people. Did you sell this? I saw this in your video. Did this sell yet? I saw this in your video. Did this sell yet? Hey, I saw this in your video. And it would just be constant. Or my grandma had one of these and I saw it in your video. And we get these sad stories, or we get these and it was like, what are we going to do? I'm sorry it sold. I'm sorry it sold. And so it became this repetitive thing of, buy it now and it would sell. And so we made the decision that we were going to list it to auction, because we'd start it at a reasonable price, $4. And that just happened by accident. We just started stuff at $4, everything at $4, whether I pay $16 or $40 for it, everything gets started at $4. And it's there for 5 days. So, everybody gets a chance at it for 5 days. And after 5 days, then it's gone. But one of the things that eBay does that Etsy doesn't do is it keeps a record of, these are the sold items. So it's a lot easier to look at sold items. This is everything that's sold by this seller, versus Etsy, which I think it's a little bit harder to look at what's sold. So people can at least go in and see what we've sold. So I hope that answers that question.
I mean, we got so many questions. You wouldn't believe it.
Oh, I'm sure she would.
Scuba Sonia wants to know, do you consider other items or categories when shopping? I mean, do you go into a thrift store with an idea today, I'm going to look for this type of item, or I want to do something different? Or do you go in and just looking for whatever strikes you?
Whenever I go into a thrift shop, antique shop, anywhere, I'm usually looking for items that I know that I can make money on. I mean, I'm looking for items that are priced low that I can sell high, and that's really what you do when you're a reseller. You just go in looking for those items that are underpriced. And since I've been doing it a while,
Right.
it comes easier and easier as you're able to recognize more and more things that are even unmarked. And you don't have to have your phone out to research things, which is fantastic.
So you're not going in looking for anything specific. You're looking for those things that were underpriced.
Yes.
That you can go, well, I know this is worth, $25.
Yeah.
If you only got $7 on it, I'm buying it.
Yeah.
Even though it's a piece of ugly painting or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
I know that there's value in it, so it's worth me buying it.
That's me.
Having my minions throw it on eBay for me and sell it.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense, If you oh, here he comes.
Here comes the treasure, Nikki.
It's
Hey, Andrew.
What's up?
Not much. How are you doing, brother?
Well, that was something too I was gonna mention earlier. it's fun watching you two look at stuff. You'll pick something, Jocelyn, you'll pick something up and you go, oh, I really like that. And then you'll hand it over to Drew and they'll go, well, there's a crack here. This is I love it.
You want to say 10 more minutes?
And then I bring home ashtrays that talk about enemas. I'm gonna go keep the kids wrangled.
All right.
Feeding them chocolate and X-Men.
Chocolate and X-Men. What mark they asked for. So you had asked about a show and tell item. This is an item I have to show and tell. And a lot of my viewers have already seen this piece.
Oh,
Was that a
that's
ring?
cool.
It is. It's
Two
a ring. It's
birds.
silver. And it's Matilda Polat. It's it's a designer
Turquoise.
ring.
I mean, amethyst,
Yeah, and
turquoise, and
turquoise.
silver.
Amethyst and turquoise. There you go.
Yes. Yeah. I got it at the flea market, and we paid $200 for it, but it's worth $400 to $500. So I was pretty thrilled with that piece.
Where's your ring at? How about we go to auctions and we bought a box, those lids, box lids that with a bunch of costume jewelry in
Yep.
it. For $5, I found a couple awesome silver rings in there.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, one's worth about $500. I haven't sold it.
That's fantastic.
So,
Do you plan on keeping that ring or?
Oh, hang on. Something just happened on my computer.
Uh-oh.
What was that?
Do you plan on keeping that ring or are you gonna?
I do. Yeah, I bought it for myself, but I still love, like, when I go out shopping, even for myself, I always want to find a good deal.
sure.
Gosh, listen, do you hear that? I don't know what that's about.
So
Yikes.
Moto Money he's typed it in here a couple times now. He's got a question.
Okay.
Do you find small towns are better for picking?
Take a break, but don't go far. Gold fever's burning like a shooting star. Grab a snack, stretch it out. Still more stories to talk about. Shovels in the dirt, pickaxes high. Treasures waiting, reach for the sky. Tuesday night, Hangout Live, don't go away. We'll be back real soon, there's more to say. Legends of gold, secrets untold. The hunt's not over, there's more to unfold. From lost mines to rivers wide, prospectors digging side by side. Old time stories, brand new finds, gold and treasure, history shines. Shovels in the dirt, pickaxes high, treasures waiting, reach for the sky. Tuesday night, Hangout Live, don't go away. We'll be back real soon, there's more to say. Legends of gold, secrets untold. The hunt's not over, there's more to unfold.
As opposed to a large town or city?
Well, it depends. I mean, so one of my favorite.
Small towns.
What's that?
They have creaky floors in small towns.
Yeah, right. One of my favorite places to go is Lancaster, and that's, I mean, it's not like a super large city, but there's
A lot of
near the larger,
Amish junk.
yeah, there's a lot of, well, there's a lot of Amish there, but there's a lot of people there with money. And so when I'm thrifting, I try to keep in mind places where people have money, because that's where they're going to be donating stuff that could be worth money. So I try to keep that in mind when I'm thrifting. But I just, yeah, I get a little nervous when we're in the cities. We sometimes go, whenever we're in Philadelphia, we go to the thrift stores and around Philadelphia. We've only done it a few times. And I get really nervous with crowds of people, and they're just always really super crowded. So I don't usually go to the city thrift stores. Not because there's anything wrong with them, just because they're very crowded, and I just have a hard time with crowds. So I stick to the small town thrift stores.
Yeah, and it makes sense that you would go like we go. We've probably got what 5 Goodwills here in the city,
Yeah.
but we only go to one of them because that's where Ruby can find brand new clothes with tickets on it.
Yes. Yep.
You know, for a couple bucks.
Yeah.
I'm able to buy nice pieces of furniture for like 10, 20 bucks, drawers, just stuff like that. Yeah, you go to those places where the people have more money, they donate stuff.
Yeah.
It's funny. Sometimes we'll go in there, she'll find out half a dozen new dresses. All
That's fantastic.
with labels on them, so yeah. So that makes sense to do that for sure. Okay, Outdoorsy Gallo. She's got one of her questions. Any spirits attached to any of the items from thrift stores? Creepy feelings, etc.
I don't think so. I mean, we don't really hold on to a lot of the items that we buy for resale. The glass is really all that we hold on to, and it's mid-century glass. So, I've never really noticed anything, and I feel like I'm pretty sensitive to that sort of thing. The only thing that we've had that was ever really weird was the painting that Andrew bought, and that was of the Hans Herd house. And I did post a video about that. I mean, that whole painting was just really weird. And
the painting itself was weird.
Well, the story behind it was weird. It was we went to an antique mall, and maybe some people saw the video. We had posted a video about it when it happened. It was a couple years ago, but we went to an antique mall and we saw this painting of this house, and I looked at it, and it was this old stone house, and I said, "Oh, it would be fun to metal detect there." And I pointed at the painting, and Andrew looked at the painting, and he said, and he acknowledged the painting. And so we both saw the painting, acknowledged it, and just kept moving. And then later that night, this was on Halloween of last year or the year before, we were sitting on the couch, and I was scrolling through Facebook, and this sponsored ad showed up, and it was a photograph of the same house that was in the painting, a photograph of it. And I was like, Andrew, that's the house that was in the painting. And it was the Hans Her house in Lancaster. And he looked at it and he said, "Oh my gosh." I said, "What?" He said, "That's my great great grandfather." Hans Her was his relation. So he was related to Hans Her, and the painting was a painting of the Hans Her house that we had saw earlier that day. And he didn't realize it until we saw the photograph with Hans Her. So we went back the next day, and sure enough, it was a painting of the house. And we ended up, they wanted $150 for it. He got it for half, $75. And we brought it home, and it's hanging down in our dining room right now. And it's the weirdest, creepiest thing in the whole world. And I don't like it, but it's it's his thing, and it is what it is.
Right. So, have you seen any of Outdoorsy Gal O's videos?
I have seen a couple.
Where
yes,
she goes to
Chrissy.
a reuse it building at the dump.
What's that?
They have what they call reuse it buildings, where you can pick stuff that I guess the people at the dump pick, and they put it in this building where you can go in and pick yourself.
Really? Oh, I don't think I've seen those.
I think she did a video on that one time.
I will have to go and find that video. I
Yeah.
know that when we were hanging out in Canada, I'm pretty sure that we went out and looked at like a really scary bag that was out in the parking lot together.
I think I saw a video she did of one of those reusable buildings where those guys that are working there, they'll find good stuff and put it in there. And I don't remember if you bought it or you just got to pick through it and take what you want.
That's really
I
cool.
don't even remember. It's been a while since I watched the video. Blue-footed booby. Ask her if she goes to the Green Dragon.
I've never heard of the Green Dragon.
I don't know what that is. Sometimes I'm afraid of asking some of these questions. I don't, especially if I don't know what they're about, you know. I get scared. Digging with Deej, how are you tonight? Jacqueline, you need to do a weekend thrift in Piqua, Ohio.
I've been to Ohio.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Yes, you
Oh,
have.
recently, and you didn't let us know.
I was in I forget where I was. I went to the Ohio Extravaganza.
Hmm.
It was an antique flea market.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Where
And
at?
when I was there, I even thought, I'm like, I wonder how far away I am from those guys. I was. I
Was
forget.
it like Eastern Ohio?
You know, I had just crossed over from West Virginia. I've got it in my YouTube. I actually have where I was at, so I'm going to tell you right now. I was in Springfield, Ohio.
Oh, okay.
That's close.
Yeah,
Is it?
that wasn't too
For me.
far, hour and a half-ish.
Okay.
Far for me.
Yeah, I was in Springfield, Ohio, and I just went up for the flea market and antique extravaganza, and I was there for a weekend.
At the fairgrounds?
Have you ever went to Lucasville Trader Days?
Yeah. No, I've never been there.
You need to go there.
Okay.
That's the hugest swap meet animal sale, everything you can ever imagine.
Really? What is it called?
Yes.
Lucasville?
Trader Days in Lucasville, Ohio.
Oh,
Yeah,
They have it
that
3
out.
times a year, and it's a whole fairgrounds full of nothing but what you're looking for.
I like that.
It's killer. I love going there.
Digging with Deej says she misses your metal detecting videos.
I know. And you know what? I've been out metal detecting a few times, and I brought my camera with me, and I filmed a little bit of footage. I haven't had the inspiration to get the videos out. And the last time we went out, we found an old home site. I got a largie and some buttons, and we had a really great time. And I don't know. I had to find that inspiration again to get it out.
Moto Mining asks, are glass bottle stoppers ever worth anything?
Glass bottle stoppers. Are we talking like perfume stoppers, or are we talking
All
like
those stoppers that you always say are missing from the bottles that you get.
so like decanters?
I imagine he doesn't really say other than just glass bottles.
I mean, I don't know. I think it depends on the stopper. I mean, there's a lot of interpretation there.
Right. I mean, I imagine if the person that had the bottle for that stopper, they'd probably pay for it.
Yes. But if it's just a generic stopper and it can go in any bottle, just the diameter of the stopper itself.
Yeah, he says, old Victorian stoppers.
Yeah. It depends on the stopper itself.
Would you, when I may be asking a dumb question, but I like asking that for anybody else who's scared to ask it.
No such thing as a dumb question, Rose.
Thank you, Ed. You're right.
Just dumb answers.
When you say depends, like if you find an all glass one versus maybe a glass one that still has the cork on it, or I mean, what would you be looking for? Say you were looking for a decanter top. Would you want it to match, or could it be any beautiful top that you find to go with it?
Well, it depends on if it was for my collection or if it was for resale. For me personally, I'm not picky, but there are a lot of people out there who are picky, and so they would want the stopper that belongs to that bottle, and they're purists. But me, I don't mind to mix and match, and
Right.
some of my bottles don't even have stoppers, and you can see that they were supposed to because they have the ground lip. But I just like the looks. Oh, it's a pretty glass. It's pretty glass. I will take the pretty glass. Like it's just, I'm pretty much open to just about anything. So it really depends on the person, and what the intent is, whether you're reselling it or keeping it or what you're doing with it. Here he comes. He's here.
They want to
You
see
can
your
hear it as
face,
he enters.
Drew. They want you to squatch down and show your face.
Yeah, everyone wants to know what you look like because you're like,
I don't.
Somewhere.
We know what he looks like.
you have lag. You are lagging, so you are not showing your face.
Should be
You're
there.
here. Look, this is you. Now it's all lagged out.
Yeah.
Now I fixed
Yeah, speed it all up.
I missed everything. Can't fix it.
Oh, no worries.
All right, now I'm good.
There's a ton of questions in here that
All
I'm
right.
having a hard time keeping up with. Is there some place where these people can get a hold of you and to ask you these questions?
As far well,
good luck. No.
you know how when Ed tried to contact me about doing a podcast?
Yeah, I know. That's true. I'm asking here. I ask another questions.
I have to do with Jocelyn like I do with Jeff Williams. I go to her better half for Jocelyn, and I go to Lila for Jeff Williams. So,
oh boy.
Under California says Jocelyn. I make lamps from vintage
torch, and I made one for you.
I made one for you. Torch? What's that?
I don't know.
Torce?
Torche?
Torche? Okay.
Touche?
Touche. No, I don't know.
He put it up here.
He says, I made one for you. Also a little something for the kids. And Drew, you have a P.O. box.
Well, we don't have a P.O. box.
No. I guess if they want to get the shop address, we can give them the shop address. That would probably be the easiest.
Yes.
Torches.
Yes. You can contact us via Messenger.
Send me
him.
send me a message though.
Send him a message. I get so bombarded. I get so many messages that I have a really hard time juggling all of the messages. I do. I get it. I get a lot. He's laughing because he knows.
Under California, email me at flashinyourpan at gmail.com, and then I could forward something to Drew. If that works for you. And
yeah.
I might even have your email address already under California. I think I do. So I'll look and see. But it'd probably be better if you email me at flashinyourpan at gmail.com. It's on the screen. And I'll hook you up with Drew, and that way you could send it to their shop.
That works.
Yeah, it works. Dennis Hendrick wants to know where you're from.
Carlisle.
That's in Virginia?
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
I was like, oh my gosh, there's a Carlisle, Illinois.
There's a Carlisle everywhere.
Right.
Well, I caught up on the questions. Holy crap.
We're all
Wow.
caught up?
I think so.
Good. Can we put the kids to bed now?
I knew that's where he was going. I knew that's why he came in.
I can find more questions. It's on my board right now, but
Well, Shop Girl Star says, Jocelyn, would you have any tips on how to get started for a new seller?
For a new seller,
Research.
yes,
Lots of research.
lots of research and paying to learn. Never be afraid to pay to learn. Just don't pay too much to learn.
Study what's selling and study what's not selling. Take time and just peruse eBay listings.
And look at what has sold.
Yes.
Look at what's sold for the most.
You know, and if you're out shopping, don't just look at what's sold, but look at also what's currently available and gauge if the item that you've got in your hand is worth the time taking it home, listing it, shipping it, and all that stuff. Or how long is it going to sit on your shelf? You know, you really have to look at a huge picture. Lots of research.
then Tina also wants to know, she's been selling not quite 2 months and has had scammers the first week. They suck.
Ooh.
What are there any like warning signs when you've got a scammer trying to scam you?
They sometimes, now it's not always true, but sometimes they can have a low feedback score. I'm trying to think of some of the other things.
They'll usually ask you to send it outside of
the address that's
the
on,
address
yeah,
on
that's
file.
Yep.
And they'll ask you if they can send you a check. It's usually cut and dry with eBay. They pay, you send it. Like if it's anything outside the ordinary, then odds are it could possibly be a scam.
I mean, we have some viewers that I work with, but I have built a relationship with them
Right.
over time, and they were good customers, and we worked out arrangements. But other than that, I mean, just be weary of the internet, be cautious, but don't be afraid of it.
Stay within the eBay boundaries and you should be okay.
Stay within their policies. Yeah. I mean, ship to the address that's listed on file and accept the payments that they require you to accept. And
Right.
and always make sure your tracking is uploaded through eBay when you ship the item. So this way they can follow the tracking and see that the package was signed for, delivered. If I'm shipping a metal detector, I usually put signature confirmation on the item because we're talking $200, $300, $400, $500 or more, and I want to make sure that that package gets signed for and not just left on the front porch. So if you have an expensive item, insurance is always a smart thing to have, but pretty much, yeah, stay within the eBay parameters or Etsy or whatever marketplace you're working with.
And just know one thing, right now, FedEx only delivers to the yard. No
Is that who delivered our bubble wrap and left it in the yard? Is that who that was? Was that FedEx?
Yeah, it was.
It was so funny. I got home and we ordered like what, 9 boxes of bubble wrap,
Something like that.
giant boxes of bubble wrap, and they're all sitting in the yard.
700 feet per box.
I had to walk around them, and it was so funny because the UPS guy showed up. It was the opposite of whoever delivered them, so it must have been the UPS guy. He showed up, and he was dropping something else off, and he like kind of looked, and he walked it up to the door, and I walked out and I took it from him, and he's like, I'm like, thank you so much for bringing this to the door. He's like, yeah. He's like, who was that? I'm like, FedEx. he just laughed.
Yeah,
FedEx boxes in the front yard.
Well, FedEx and UPS will not deliver to PO boxes.
Right.
So if a customer only has a PO box listed, you cannot use FedEx or UPS to ship to them. It has to go to a physical address. You can only use USPS for PO boxes.
Interesting.
Okay, Tina again. Tina's asking lots of questions, and that's cool. Oh, is that how can you tell Murano from Blanco?
You have to
No.
lick it. You just taste it. You just lick it, and you can tell the difference. It's the texture.
Smell.
The first time I've ever heard of that. But I guess I've never tried it. It could work.
I don't know. I usually stick everything in my mouth when we're out shopping.
It's not healthy.
Oh,
We're building
Murano.
my immunities.
Yeah. Here's what I think I know about Murano glass. First of all, I love Murano glass too. But Murano glass is really glass that's made in Murano, Italy, but it's made by different companies. There's different glass
makers, yeah.
Oh, she said, no, I said Jocelyn taught me the difference because of her videos.
Oh, okay.
That might have been a technical error on my half of copying and pasting.
Oh, okay.
So-
That's why I was okay, got it. So Murano glass is not a company.
Murano glass is the region in Italy where they make the glass. So there's different makers in Murano that make the glass. So there's a variety of makers, and it's all about the quality and knowing the quality of the glass.
There was a period of time where you couldn't leave.
Yeah, if you were an artisan of Murano, you were not allowed to leave the island, and you were restricted to the island making glass. Yeah.
That is insane.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like you have our proprietary information of how to make glass,
I
and you
mean-
must stay here.
I mean, I'd be okay
That's
if
essentially what they did.
If it was Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, I'd be okay with that. The glass factory, screw
Right.
that.
I'm with
Cut all
you,
the time.
Drew.
Burned? No.
It is
Just
what it is.
Keep
They
me
made
by
some
the
exceptional
chocolate
glass,
and peanut
and that,
butter
you know,
candies. I'll be happy.
So what I guess there is no what I'm trying to get when you say Murano, you're not talking about a company. You're talking about an island of clay.
absolutely. Now Blanco is a company, and so like even when you're talking about porcelain, you talk about Limoges. Limoges is a region in
Right.
France where they made porcelain, and at one time there was 14 porcelain houses in Limoges that were making porcelain. So it's just about it's about the region. It's like Limoges porcelain. It's got this name, you know, that makes it what it is. And same with Murano. You say Murano glass, it's like, oh, okay. No matter who makes it, it is
Yeah, and I
about
think
the region.
yeah, I think that's where the confusion comes in because people will say, "Well, it's Murano company," and I'm thinking, no, not really. But you know, believe what you want to believe. So
Yeah.
yeah. Let's see. More questions? Got any more in there?
I think we've got about 3 minutes. I was gonna say 4, but then it changed to 9:07.
Well, then I won't ask any more questions. We'll just.
We have one last one. What is a big seller right at this time?
Right at this time. Well, for us, what is a big seller?
Art glass.
Art glass for us is really selling. You know, we just talked about Murano. For us, that right now is a big seller. But
Kokeshi dolls.
Kokeshi dolls is another really big seller for us right now. And I think it's about the buyers also that we attract through our videos. You know, we show these items and we attract these buyers through our videos. But those seem to be the two big sellers for us right now is the Murano glass and also the Kokeshi dolls. So two completely different things. You know, you've got Japan and you've got Italy, but
Oh, Outdoorsy Girl has another question that's being waited on.
Okay.
Let me see. There is an online auction site I frequent, and so many times they call just about anything Murano.
Well, we deal with
Should
that a
those
lot.
pieces
all
be
Murano.
It's all
signed?
and we joke about that a lot, and we always say, "Oh, it's all Murano," and that's like our ongoing joke. It's a yeah. We make a good joke of
It's
that.
kind of like you have to you learn marbles. Marbles have different manufacturers, and the styles, the colors, the different ways that that they're made, and those colors are formed in that glass. Those are key factors in discerning the different marble makers, and it's the same thing with the Murano glass. You look at it and it has a certain quality to it. It has a certain look to it. I've gotten a lot better at picking out Murano since.
Yeah, and it's about holding it and knowing what it is,
Yeah.
and being able to, and it does come with practice and of holding a lot of it and seeing the quality of it and knowing what it is.
And we still don't get it all
No,
right
we
all the
don't.
time.
And that, I think that's one of the things that separates us. Oh, are we offline? Oh, are we still
No,
good?
No,
we're
you're
good.
Okay. I think that's one of the things that has separated us is that if we are not 100% certain that an item is not Murano, we call it art glass. I mean, I'm very
We like to be 100% accurate.
yeah,
on
and
those
we make
listings.
sure that we say an item is art glass. If I can't say this is Murano, I will say this is art glass.
Yeah.
And even if I
it's like,
really feel like this is Murano,
yeah.
if I
if
can't
we're not
say,
100%, we
Yeah, if it's not marked or stickered.
they were usually marked with stickers, and that's one of the hard things about Murano is the reference books for Murano run for a couple $100. So getting your hands on even the reference books
they're expensive.
is so hard to do because they just
Reference book.
the reference books. Yeah, so you can go out and buy a reference book for pottery, or but you go out and buy an art glass reference book for Murano, you're talking a couple $100.
Yeah.
And
But if you're seeing a lot of it and you're buying and you're trying to resell a lot of it, investing in those books is a good idea.
it is.
In the long run, you never know.
And we've bought a few recently.
Yeah.
And we've got 2 on the way, but also there's a lot of Facebook groups, and Facebook groups have been very helpful for us as far as identifying pieces that I'm just not quite sure of, and I'll post them in the group, and they definitely have helped me.
The viewers are very helpful.
Yeah.
Leaving comments.
Absolutely.
So do you watch anybody like Dr. Lori or anything on YouTube?
No.
What about Dr. Lori?
I don't really care for her. I think she's a very, very knowledgeable person. She has a great wealth of knowledge. She's very intelligent.
I've just seen a couple of videos where I didn't.
And that's the thing is I've seen a couple of videos where I don't like the way that she talks to her audience, and I don't like her attitude about how she knows. I mean, she does have a lot of knowledge, but I just feel like she's very arrogant. And
I'll agree there.
and the way she speaks to her audience, I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah. I mean, if that works for her, then so be it. That's all good and well. If that's her thing and that works for her, that's fine. That's just not the way we like to do things, and that's not the type of scenario we like to get involved in.
No, I mean, we always try to be encouraging. We try to, and granted, I don't have the educational background that she has, but the stuff that I do know, I try to share with others, and I try to encourage others.
But that's why I like to watch her, is because she has a lot of knowledge.
She does.
It's really good. But you're right. She is very arrogant. She knows.
She's condescending. And I think one of the things that I've noticed about her is even when she says an item is worth XYZ, I've seen it selling on eBay for ABC. So that's just something to be mindful.
The reality of that is you're only going to get what anybody's willing to pay for it.
Absolutely.
That's something my mother always pounded into my head. It's only worth what somebody's willing to pay for it.
Same with my dad, Drew. Sorry, Rose.
That's okay. You said you don't have the knowledge. Well, you don't have the knowledge yet. So keep at it and
Yeah.
Right.
keep up with the
Thanks.
positivity and you'll do just fine. Take, you
So
know,
is there anybody out there on YouTube that you say that you think would be a good person to gain some knowledge from?
The Antique Nomad, George. He has more. If it,
And
he
he's so much more friendly.
he's so much more friendly. He is so knowledgeable and he is so easy to listen to. And I had an opportunity to listen and to meet him when I was in Ohio, and he is just so knowledgeable that I could just stand there and listen to him talk for hours. He
Nomad?
knows, and the Antique Nomad, yes, and he is also a certified appraiser.
Okay.
And he is just this human sponge, and he knows so much, and he's amazing.
Cool.
And he's so friendly, and he's so nice, and he's so willing to give out this information. And I've never once seen this man be condescending to anyone. And I think that says a lot about a person. So
Right.
yeah, I would definitely recommend George if you're out there looking for knowledge and looking to learn, because not only does he give information about what an item is worth, but he gives information about the background, like this is the company, and this is like who formed the company, and this is why they formed it, and this is, and he gives the background information about the company.
That's
And
kind of like what I do to you when I'm going
and
to
I'm
research
like,
something, and I'm like, hey, this is this, and this.
okay, Andrew. So yeah, I would absolutely 100% back George.
Well, I'm his 9,630 something subscriber.
Fantastic. To 10,000.
Me too. I just
He's wonderful. He's wonderful.
I do get into that stuff. I've always gotten into that stuff, and yeah. And you're right. It's like with marbles, marbles are so
They're difficult.
they're difficult.
They're difficult. I'm pretty fortunate. There's a guy that sets up here at the local flea market that is
The guy with the
very.
glass.
He's very proficient in marbles. I can
Yeah.
hand him a little container of marbles, and he'll go, "This is a good one, and this is a good one.
And
the
he's
rest
got
is crap."
huge, like
Pieces
giant,
of slag glass from these glass
yeah,
factories.
massive pieces of slag glass from. It's just like
Cobalt blue.
Yeah.
And beautiful.
It's
stuff.
amazing.
The big chunks that were sitting on his table, those were made in West Virginia for Fenton and never got used.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well,
Excellent.
Yeah, I see Melissa put some other names up there. The Niche Lady, Danny, she moderates my group, and so does Yvonne. They're both fantastic. So you should definitely check them out. And you've got Misty, Thrifter Junker, Vintage Hunter. She's a good friend of mine as well. She's great. So everyone there, basically. Thank you, Melissa.
yes, thank you, Melissa. That's good news.
Yes. The Niche Lady, Danny, is really great on glass. Yvonne finds the most amazing pieces that I would never in a million years think of, and she always posts them. And I'm like, Yvonne, like out of the blue, like seagulls and fire and light. She taught me about that, and I found one of those pieces. They sell for hundreds of dollars. And Misty is who I went to go meet in Ohio. So she's great. She's a really good friend of mine.
Yeah, I remember when we first started collecting milk glass, right?
Yeah.
And we were buying just about any milk glass we saw, right? Then someone showed us our folly. Well,
I've got some milk glass. It's not all bad.
No. Milk glass is beautiful, especially if you find the right milk glass.
That's exactly right.
Because
like blue colored milk glass.
White glass, some of it's just white glass.
Yeah.
Milk glass has a opalescence to it, and the more that you can see of it, especially along the rim, the better quality is.
Mm-hmm. That's
So those
exactly
things like
right.
that because as when you first start out, people first start out collecting stuff, they buy everything.
Yep. Yes.
You know,
Yes.
spend a lot of money on
It's
stuff that's
called paying to learn. It's
right,
very important. And a lot of people do it and you pay to learn. It's like paying for your education. And
right.
it's better than paying for college. Trust me. I know.
Kathy is just so
Oh,
on it.
Andrew.
Thanks, Kathy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the milk glass. I've got a lot of milk glass vases down on my porch right now.
I brought home a whole banana box full of milk glass from the auction that one week.
Yeah. Well, that was the old stuff.
That was
My
really
mom,
good stuff.
for some reason, I don't know how she acquired them. She had a whole box of the milk glass bud vases and she gave them to me. She's like, here. And I'm like, what am I going to do with these? Like a whole box full of milk glass bud vases. And I mean, in big lots that you can resell them. They're good in big lots because a lot of people buy them for weddings. They're a thing for weddings now. People buy them, but just one-offs, they sell for like $2. So it's great to have a whole lot of them. But it was like, what are you doing, mother? Like
What about fairy lamps? Good
fairy
sellers.
lamps are fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't get me started on fairy lamps.
Okay.
They're really good for children's night lights.
No,
When you're putting them to bed.
Pop up in the questions that I just Googled it myself, and I think I fell in love with them. They're so cute.
What are those?
Those fairy lamps.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
right. Fairy lamps. We've got another train just for the. We got a train.
No worries. Dana loves trains.
Yeah, they're great trains.
I grew up by a train track.
We don't even hear them.
Yeah. And if someone comes over the stage, you're like, man, that thing's kept me up all night.
Shop Girl Star, how do you tell old Murano versus new Murano?
There's something about the quality of it. You can usually tell just the shape of it and the quality of it. I don't really know how to answer that. It's just like it's from experience of looking at it and dealing with it. It just comes with.
It's repetitive touching, feeling, and looking, and researching.
Yeah.
Comparing.
Still being made, right?
What's that?
Murano is still being made. Murano glass is still modern companies making.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of tourism in Murano, so they are still actively making pieces, and they do a lot of pieces for the tourist trade. And I know that there are still pieces like, for instance, we did that one house clean out where there was a piece of Murano glass, but it had a TJ Maxx sticker on it. And I was like, what? I mean, it was a nice piece, but it was like, wow, and then it kind of made me rethink of how I look at Murano. I knew it was Murano, but it had a TJ Maxx sticker on it. So it just kind of makes you think of, how you look at the pieces.
Modern old stuff.
Kathy Bell. Oh, Moto Mining. Oh, you know the word, isn't it? It has a bird on it.
That's one of our favorite things. It has a bird on it. That usually means you have to take a shot.
Yeah, people were talking about drinking games before your show.
Yeah, we have a full drinking game built around our channel.
Yeah, so every time we do a live and she says bird, so you got to take a
You have to take a shot. And there's different rules. There's bingo cards, I think. Somebody made bingo cards. And there's different rules for how many shots that you take based on what I say. Like if I say, oh boy, I say that a lot. You have to take a certain number, and I'll have to send you the cards. It's a fun game.
Margie Monroe, does Jocelyn think maybe one of her kids will follow in her footsteps? Do you have a future
I think so. I mean,
It's
I
still
think
too early to
not
tell.
so much in the reselling, but maybe in the YouTube realm of things. I mean, Ashton's already talking about, no, I want to film videos for Fortnite, you know. So they're already
I
all
thought
about
he
YouTube.
already had his own channel.
He does have his own channel, but that was before YouTube put into place all of the rules
Oh
about
yeah,
looking
the
at their
child
channel.
protection stuff.
Yeah, so that kind of put a pause on everything that we were doing, and it kind of made us reevaluate his channel
Right.
and where we wanted to go with that. So we're gonna have to wait till he's a little bit older, but he's already talking about what he wants to do with his channel. So I think they definitely want to go into YouTube, which I have no problem with. We've made a living out of it, and
They're still going to college.
I don't agree with that.
Neither do I, Jocelyn. Neither do I.
It's all right. I didn't go to
Trade
college. It
school.
turned out just fine.
As long as they know the basics, I feel like they can navigate life. But
Right.
yeah, so I feel like maybe they'll follow it. I would be delighted if they went into reselling, but they both have a passion. But I mean, well, maybe not Ashton. Mom, can we buy a house? A new house. I don't want an old house. I don't like old houses. So I mean, I don't know about Ashton. Maybe not, but maybe Juliet. She enjoys going thrifting with me, so we'll see.
Cool. I know they like metal detecting, don't they?
Yes, yeah, they do.
What kid don't like treasure hunting?
Yeah, I think they only have so much patience for it, though. As most kids, as most kids do.
Yeah.
Well,
They only have
all
so much.
kids are like ADD. It's like, oh, squirrel.
Yeah.
I'm 40 years old and I'm still ADD.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Hey, I'm
Yeah.
59 and I'm still that way. They call me squirrel, Drew. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I do have to get them to bed.
He's the one when one of us are doing something, he'll be gone. Where'd he go? He's over there, up that tree. That's Ed.
I believe it.
Oh, I know you need to get the kids to
Yeah,
bed.
that's what he was just saying. We got to get the kids to bed.
And Drew's being real patient with
I know he
us.
is.
We're like
He's like
45
poking
minutes.
me.
We're like 45 minutes past. the time
We're
I'd
like
to have
more
them in
than
bed.
usually 8:30 is bedtime, so
Yeah.
we're a little bit past.
Jason Keith prospecting. Yeah, I can be the worst squirrel ever.
I got them watching X-Men Apocalypse right now.
What a babysitter, Drew. What a
Sleep tight tonight.
I mean, they haven't come up the stairs yet, though. Mommy.
Well,
They're entertained.
they watched Wolverine gut a bunch of people already.
Oh my gosh.
It's just Marvel movies, Mom. It's okay.
I asked you if it was okay for kids, and you told me it was.
There goes her trust in you there, Drew.
It's just Wolverine. Come on.
It's just cartoon character.
Boy. I don't watch TV or movies, so that's my problem.
Oh my goodness. Well, I know we took you into OT, Jocelyn. I greatly appreciate it. Drew, thank you
A lot of fun.
for being the middleman for me.
You did a good job.
Do you still have your personal channel too, like your
I do. I have multiple channels.
Well, you have Jocelyn Elizabeth, I believe. I
Yeah.
believe you have, of course, the Crazy Lamp Lady
Yes.
and Relics Recover Us.
Yeah.
Then we have Naughty Dog Treasures, Drew's channel.
Yes.
And
Video out on in like 10, 11
I
months.
know, and that's my fault. That's my fault because I haven't had the time to edit anything. So
Mike, thank you, M.A. Lyman, for the $5 super chat, my friend. Thank you. It's great having you back, Jocelyn. I hope you had as much fun, if not more, this time than last time.
I had a blast. We're gonna have to do it again sometime soon.
We're gonna have to get out of the creek again.
Yes,
Oh, absolutely.
definitely.
Camping for the weekend.
Yes.
Definitely,
I
definitely.
think we'd enjoy that.
I love getting wet with you guys.
Yeah, we like getting you wet.
Yeah. We'll get you behind instead of a shovel this time in a sluice box, Drew. We'll get you behind a dredge,
That sounds good.
and we'll
my
get you
God.
some gold, and you never know what else you'll find.
There you go.
You too, Jocelyn.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I think that would be a lot of fun. And the
It
kids
would.
would enjoy it too.
That they
Oh,
would.
good time. Yep, the kids love it too. That's right.
And if you come antiquing in Ohio again, please let us know.
I will.
And if you
I
don't
will.
mind some of the flash crews, and hey,
Yeah.
meet up with you and maybe get some
absolutely.
pointers, even though we're all collectors in our own right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Remember
let's do
Trader
it.
Days in Lucasville. You really
I'm
like
gonna
that.
remember
Let
that.
me
I
do
will.
Let me do a shout out here for our chat room, who's been really good tonight. Lots of questions.
Yeah.
Really great to see a lot of new people. If you liked what we did tonight, if you liked us talking to your favorite crazy lamp lady, come on back, join us every Tuesday, because we got all kinds of crazy people on our show.
oh yeah.
So I know some of you are new here, and this is your first time. We'd love to have you back. I
Yes.
just wanted to get that in before they all took off.
Yes, we'd love to have you back. We have all kinds of treasure hunters, collectors, manufacturers, inventors, TV celebrities. If they're in the treasure hunting community of some sort of appendage on that huge treasure hunting hand, we work on getting them on our show. And I can guarantee you every week's a fun week. And Jocelyn, thank you
I don't
very
know. I
much
just
for
thought everyone else
breaking
did.
my
I didn't wanna
records.
I didn't want to be like left out, so I'm like, I'll do it too. Okay.
Do it.
Called the Family of the Hand.
All right.
Yeah, treasure. And what you do, I personally consider that treasure hunting.
Oh,
Sure.
definitely.
That's treasure hunting. You're looking for treasure, weird, different stuff. I think did we ask you what was the weirdest thing you ever saw?
The finger.
Yeah, so we talked about the
Yeah.
glass jar. Yeah.
Okay, right. 'Cause I still see that question up there, so I didn't know if I had. Thank you for being with us tonight, Jocelyn.
Thank you for having me. This was so much fun.
It's fun. We try to keep it fun, and we try to ask the questions that the people want to know about you, and
That's what I love about your show.
it's always fun to have you here.
Great.
I'm not sure if I like your hair natural or the pink and purples, or
You know what? Next time I'll make it pink. Just
Just for you, Jesse.
yeah.
natural.
He misses
I
it.
will use the pink and just.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, had a great night tonight, and thank you, Jocelyn, for bringing in so many people. You broke records for probably another 3 years.
Probably so. What was it, like 197 at one point?
Yeah, didn't quite get to 200, but close.
We got really
All
close.
right.
We'll have to do it again soon.
Maybe some of these people will come back, and our numbers will keep growing. They start liking our show, and
Right.
from what I understand, you got some pretty good people that might be even worth bringing on too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to
Jocelyn,
check them out.
if you don't say goodbye, we're just gonna keep talking.
Oh,
your
okay.
arm
All
off.
right.
That's
well,
right.
I will see all of you later. And for everyone who watches my channel, I will see you tomorrow.
You're very right there, Rose. Thank you again, Jocelyn, Drew. It's great seeing you again. Look forward to seeing you in a thrift store or creek again someday. Campground,
Yeah.
Gold Rush Days, Labor Day weekend.
Gold Rush Days.
Or you could make it to Flash Bash.
You
Which
should
will
come to our outing. That's even
fun.
better.
Try. We'll try.
I would love to do that.
Okay, I'll let Drew know when they're getting. I'll give you a good fair warning.
That
So
sounds good.
we haven't come up with the location yet for Flash Bash. That's around June. So we're working on a new location for that, but it's a blast, huh, Rose?
Oh,
Oh
so
man, time of your life.
I will tell you really quick too, Ed. I am working with Adam Samarco.
Right, right.
And he is going to be working as a Mind Lab Detexpert for us. And he's going to be taking a trip out to California in January.
Right.
I'm sending a GPX 5000 with him. Some
Ooh.
videos and some gold videos out in California while he's there for 2 weeks.
Are you
We were
still
just
in
out
the
there not
chat
long
room,
ago.
Adam? You're gonna love that, dude.
That's news to me.
Ah, surprise!
You could have sent us a couple of gold monsters or what Two Toes had when we went out.
I got really lucky. A gentleman came to the Relic Show last weekend, and he had 2 shoulder surgeries, so he wasn't able to use the machine anymore. And one of those, our cost is almost $3,000 for a dealer, brand new.
Right.
I was able to get that machine with an extra battery and the harness for $1,800.
Ooh, nice, nice.
So we're gonna put that machine to work.
Oh, Adam will put it to work too.
I hope so.
He was in the room earlier.
Were pretty tough out there. That's pretty sure they found the gold with those.
And I think he'll do a good job for Mind Lab too. I thought that was a great idea when you brought it up to me.
I just want the dog. I don't even.
told you.
I just want the dog. Honestly, I mean, I just want to like figure out how to get the dog to metal detect, and then Adam can just kind of just be there.
You know Adam. Adam was in here earlier.
I'm kidding.
You know Adam was in here earlier, Drew. Well, maybe you don't, but Adam was in here earlier, Drew, and he knows Petey's the star. He knows.
Yeah, I just talked to him the other day. He was asking about, a couple things, telling me about his trip, and I was like, this is going to be a really good opportunity to do some videos and use some Mind Lab equipment, because I know he's got some older equipment and he's looking to finally upgrade and do some new things, and I want to help him with that. And in turn, he's going to wind up helping us. So,
Cool.
Yeah, Adam will do good for you.
I'm
you better. Sure. I'm backing him 100%.
I will find you,
Ed. Just remember, we're always looking for sponsors here for Tuesday Night Hangout Live, too, Drew.
There you go. All right, we'll talk.
and we're all 3 Mind Lab.
All 3 of us got Mind Labs.
All right, we'll have to talk then.
This is what I found, on our trip to California. What the heck?
Oh, he's gonna show off his nuggets.
Gonna show you my 3 nuggets I found with my monster.
Nice.
And I found 3 with my Nox. But you need to talk to Mind Lab about the coils. Yes. Jocelyn will go over it with you, because it only, on the Mind Lab, it only detects underneath the coil and not radiates from the edges of the coil.
I know what you mean.
And when we use it in cracks, we get nothing, and then someone comes up with, what does Two Toes use? And Bennett,
SDC.
And they get it. SDC. Right, so does
I have the personal attention of a Mind Lab representative for the next 5 days.
I may or may not have mentioned that.
So I will definitely pass that along, because those types of comments, they do make their way back to the engineers, and the office.
I know I sent you a message and we talked about it, and you sent me to like Gold Tech Coils, I believe. Coil Tech Coils, and they did have a bunch for Mine Lab, but not the Nox.
So the Equinox, I haven't seen any new coils for that from Coil Tech yet. I wasn't sure if they had put one. I could have swore I saw something for that. But you're pretty much relegated for the moment to the 6, the 11, or the 15 that Mine Lab puts out. So.
Well, there you go. I'm sure you'd get a couple of guys buying some more coils from you if you did.
Well,
if they did,
I will definitely pass that technological information along, because that's important. That's stuff they want to know.
Because the way we use it, we do hold down that coil and shove it down in a crack, and so
on the gold machines, because like use them like the way we use them was working cracks and crevices. Sometimes, and I spent a whole day, most of the day, digging a target that I couldn't find. Every time I went over it, it was there.
Well, why were you so close to your steel-toed boots?
I didn't do that. That ain't my phone either. But what was happening is as I was coming down, it was catching it, right? It was getting the signal. But when I turned my coil into the crack, I didn't get nothing. Well, I come to find out that I'd already passed the target. I'd passed the target 10 inches, before somebody else came over and checked it out, and they actually found my target about 2 inches from the top that I had missed because it wasn't telling me exactly where it was. I was thinking it was still in the crack. And I kept digging and digging and digging and digging, and I wasn't getting anything. But I passed it. So I've been able to get in there and stick my coil in there sideways and realize that my signal was not down there. It was up to the side. It was actually under some roots.
Yeah.
And it wasn't anything, a piece of foil. Oh, dang. Digging that crack for nothing. But I learned something, so that was good. I learned, I was doing it wrong.
It was a learning experience.
Definitely a learning experience. So we'll say goodnight now so you can leave.
Yeah, they've been trying for the last
the kids
15,
are probably
20
downstairs.
minutes.
I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, and they've been unattended for a little bit.
Yeah, the fact
It's
that they're
way
unattended
too
makes me-
quiet.
Yeah, it's one of those. I'm like,
Just hit the leave button or you'll never get out of it.
just press the leave button. You're being sucked in the vortex again.
They're fine. I've been looking at the security camera.
Drew's a smart
the best
man.
babysitter ever.
I'm on.
Well, it's that time, everybody. 10 o'clock's here. Time flies when you're having a great time. All of you, thank you very much for joining Toledo Jess, Dano, Rose, Jocelyn, Drew, and I tonight. I had an absolute pleasure. I hope you did too. Next week, we're having the inventor of Gold Cube and the Banjo Pan, Mike Pung, on as a return guest. I think it's been about 2 years since he's been on too. That show will be another great show. I can about guarantee that. Until next time, may you always have a flash in your pan.
You know what he's going to say next.
That's right. Ask Jocelyn, Drew, and Rose. It happens. Maybe one day too, we'll meet you on the river. Good night, everybody. God bless. Thanks for joining us.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, Justin. Thank you again. Drew, thanks, brother.
Jerry.
Another story told, another tale in gold. From the creek beds deep to the mountain cold, we rolled the tape, turned back the hands, relived the dreams through worn out hands. Faces familiar, voices strong, flashing back to where we all belong. So until we strike the stream again, with pick and pan and grinning friends, we'll keep the fire burning bright, Tuesday nights in golden light. YouTube's glow, that warm replay, legends live another day. Flash in your pan, it never fades, echoes of gold in the past we made. The guess, the laughs, the claims stay truths, the hunt for gold, the wild old roots. Time may pass, but this we know, history's got that golden glow. So raise a glass to memories dredged up from their flashback streams. We'll be back, just wait and see, on Tuesday night, Hangout, live history. See you later!